Andy Schmidt, Kieran McCowan, and Brian Hitch continue Starro's invasion of Earth-3 as Owlman tries to find a weakness in the alien parasite's biology, and Ultraman battles Superwoman, intending on taking her for the Starro legions amassing all over the country. Andy Schmidt again delivers a fun action-packed issue that explores more of the upside-down world of Earth-3 and forwards the plot along at a nice pace, shifting focus onto Owlman as he becomes the savior of the metahumans and superpowered aliens around America, learning the real reason why Starro wants them. I really enjoyed Superwoman and Ultraman's drawn-out, no-holds-barred battle across the globe and in space. Andy does a great job giving Superwoman her agency that as an Amazonian she should have, and it makes it really hard not to root for her throughout this entire book, since while she is a villain, what she's saying and doing about men of the world always trying to take her island and her sisters is totally true, so she's fighting for the right reasons this time round at least. The backup story, much like the first issue's Ultraman origin story, is the origin of Owlman, and it's a pretty simple one, as we see the moment Thomas diverts from a crusade of justice to a stone-cold killer, and it's pretty great, but a little heartbreaking at the same time, as we learn what his parents really were and how that just drives him to just give up, and as he puts it, nothing matters now to him. Kieran McCowan and Brian Hitch both again pull art duties, and boy, Kieran went all out with his cool fight scenes and fun action set pieces this issue, like the splash page of powering using a giant sword construct to kill Starro. I also liked the brief introduction to other Earth-3 characters and their designs, like the Dr. Fate and the Firestorm of this world, and hopefully we see a bit more of them fully as the book goes on. Brian Hitch again did the backup, and boy, he draws some nice looking Owlman and Gotham City stuff. There isn't much to be said about his 4 pages other than that I really love his attention to detail, and having it set in the rain so we get water beating off Owlman's costume and off Harvey Bullock was really quite pretty. Crime Syndicate issue 2 was another great action-packed issue that forwarded the plot along nicely, shifting focus over to characters like Owlman and Superwoman and building up their new character status quos really nicely. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10. Crime Syndicate issue 2 finds Owlman racing into Metropolis as the Starro parasites attack the Owlmobile, overcoming it and forcing him to attack them, cutting up their limbs as they overwhelm him. In Arnold DC, Superwoman, Oliver Queen, and the FBI agents battle the Starros, with the agents noting how nonchalant Superwoman and Oliver are to this invasion. The arriving infected Ultraman wonders who said this was an invasion, demanding the president come with him. Superwoman says that she can have President Queen since he isn't really that good. Ultraman, however, was referring to Superwoman, saying that the parasite needs her and wants him to do whatever it takes to bring her to them. Superwoman attacks Ultraman, tackling him through the Arnold monument and destroying it. Back in Gotham, Alfred is glad to see that Thomas survived, since he lost contact with him on the edge of Metropolis. Thomas says that the creatures needed to think that they had him surrounded and they would have fled had he actually defeated them, but he needed a specimen. He shows Alfred the Starro he killed, looking it over and knowing that its adaptation into space travel is impressive, but doesn't know why it's called a Starro since it's got more in common with an octopus than a starfish. He also knows that it secretes some type of venom-like substance, and he's aware that they are highly intelligent, which means they should assume that they aren't just acting on instinct alone. Alfred knows that it's only a matter of time before Thomas finds a weakness as Owlman slaps on some gloves and gets to work dissecting it. Ultraman and Superwoman meanwhile battle into outer space, with Ultraman saying that he's now part of Starro now and soon she will be as well. They smash into the space station and killing all inside as Superwoman says that she is an Amazon and neither Ultraman and Starro will enslave her, and all men think they can make her do their bidding, but they always wind up begging for scraps from under her heels. Ultraman says that Starro's fight is their fight and someday their enemies will come to Earth, and this is why the Starros came there first, and now he could bring the rest of them into the fold to fight. Superwoman knows that she needs to bring the man down to Earth for a little bit, smashing smashing him in the face down into orbit. Owlman meanwhile learns that Gotham wasn't attacked like the other cities because places like Metropolis and Arnold DC have Ultraman and Superwoman, metahumans with great powers, and Gotham doesn't have any since Owlman wiped them all out. He knows that Starro is recruiting these metahumans from across the country to its cause. He notes, however, it is avoiding Coast City, home of the Power Ring, for some reason, so John knows something that Thomas doesn't. Superwoman's battle with Ultraman meanwhile lands back in the capital, where Ultraman says that Donna is tough, but he's always going to have the upper hand against her. She's kicked in the face by Johnny Quick, who says that she has no idea what she is up against and suggests that she join them, otherwise he'll continue to hurt her. Starro tells the infected villain to subdue her now, but Superwoman says that men always think that her Paradise Island is for them, but it's not, and they have fought many wars in protection of it, and they were the first, and Ultraman and Johnny Quick and the others weren't. She reveals that they have encountered Starro before, and it snakes into one's mind and forces them to do its will, and she will kill both of them before she joins her sisters in the afterlife. Suddenly the Starros on the heroes scream in pain as Power Ring arrives, plunging his construct sword into the giant Starro above. The ring says that this isn't over as the ring is overcome with another voice. John demands to know who is hacking his ring, and the voice says that he wasn't the first Emerald Knight the Owens planted on Earth, and he's been prepared for a while, wanting John to shut up and let him download what he needs from the ring, thinking that he should deal with the incoming heroes. Power Ring is besieged by the infected metahumans as Ultraman, Johnny Quick and the others are freed from their control. Atomica consoles the grieving Johnny as Ultraman says that he sees more Starros coming. Power Ring arrives, telling the team what these parasites really want, as the voice in the ring says he found a weakness to them. John demands the voice get out of his ring, wanting to know who it is, and the voice is revealed to belong to Owlman, who arrives with the original Power Ring's lantern, saying that he's the man with the plan. Years before, a young Thomas Wayne's family is all killed, and in that moment, Thomas let it drive him to the brink for years, pushing him as he gathered the skills he needed to give himself a purpose in life. Soon he was given a sign when an owl attacked him at home, scarring him on the eye, but telling him that he would become a nocturnal predator. In 2012, as Owlman, Thomas Wayne hunts down Harvey Bullock, the man who murdered the Waynes and sent Gotham into a downward spiral, and for it, he will be going to jail. Bullock says that it wasn't him, but Thomas says it was, since he was there. Thomas remembers how he would bring justice to Gotham City's fallen White Knights, like his family and his brother Bruce, and would live by a code, not resorting to the tactics of the criminals, but would employ fear, and all would be brought to the Court of Owls. Bullock says that he never had a choice in this, and Thomas should know since he inherited his parents' money. Bullock reveals to Thomas that the Wayne fortune was built off the backs of criminals, and they were partnered with the criminal world thanks to Boss Gordon. But soon the Waynes wanted to take over from Boss Gordon, and the Waynes killed his son Jimmy Jr., so Gordon paid them back in kind. Thomas knows that he's lying, knowing getting Bullock behind bars will result in justice, and he will finally be able to rest. Soon he wonders what if Bullock isn't lying, and what if his parents were criminals. Thomas begins laughing as Bullock says that the man doesn't want to become a killer like his family or Gordon, since his parents tried to kill Gordon's whole family. Thomas says that was a poor choice of words, and that the code he talked about earlier doesn't matter now, as he lets Bullock go, dropping the killer off the very high roof to his death.